Hello, and welcome to the intro video for the second week projects. For now on, I'll be doing them on a Windows computer. Before I get started, I want to remind everyone to save your file outside of OneDrive. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with our project 2. Um, I'm just going to start with step 2 um, for now on as well. So step 2 is asking us to select the table sheet. So right now, when you open up the file for project 2, it starts with the commission sheet. So you want to select the third sheet. And then we want to go to select cells A1 and B6. So B6 is here, so select that. And then use create from selection button. So it's the formulas tab, define names group. Here, define names, and then create from selection. And just go with the top row selection, and then just hit OK. I wish there's a prompt that says, range names created, but it happened. It created them. Let's go ahead and move on to step 3. It wants us to use the XLOOKUP function. So now we want to go back to the commissions sheet tab. Select F5. Once again, you know you selected the right cell if you look at the name box. And then start the XLOOKUP function. So the key word here is function. So functions are located in the formulas tab. And then you look up. So let's see here. Mine is kind of hidden, but it's this search icon on top of a book. So these are all different functions categorized. So I'm going to click on that. You'll be able to see it better, hopefully, on your computer. The ribbons are more stretched out. So I'm going to click on this. What is this one called again? Look up in reference book. Scroll down to the X, and here's X lookup. Creates a pop-up. So now we can just start populating it. So we can, so in the lookout value, we want to enter E5. In the lookup array, use the commission level range. So just go ahead and type it. Oops. Okay, let's try this again. Commission level. Yeah. And then for the return array argument, just use the bonus rate range. I'm just going to type that. And then for the return array, well, okay, I did that. Let me check those off so I don't repeat myself. For the match mode argument, just type -1. Okay. And then you want to reference figure 2106 to kind of see if the values you have here. So let me zoom in. The values that I have here matches the value in the screenshot. And it does. So it's good. Except for the bottom where it says formula result. But don't worry about that. We'll change that because right now it's in a decimal form and not percent. So I'm just going to hit OK. So yeah, step 4 is immediately asking us to change it to a percent style with 2 decimal places. So you want to do that, you go back to the Home tab, number. You can just click the percent, or you can select percent for the drop-down. But I'm just going to click the percent button here. And then it wants me to show 2 decimal places, so I'm going to increase decimal. Click it twice. Yep, there it is. And then copy the formula in cell F5 to F6 and F14. So hopefully you guys remember that you can use the fill handle. That is something you did a lot of in the previous project. So hover over the fill handle, which you know you are over it when the selector turned into a black cross. So double click there, and there it is. I mean, the other way to do it, if you don't want to do double click, you can just drag that. Sometimes you want to drag it so that it only goes to a certain distance like that. But if you want to populate the whole empty column beneath it, it's just easier to just double click that. Right, so step 5 is completed. Oh, before I get too far, it's always good to reference the completed project, and I'll have the screenshot of this on the intro page to kind of get an idea of where you're heading towards. And then for this introduction, I'm just going to go ahead and work up to, let's see, I think step 10, and then kind of give you some hints on how to do the subsequent steps. Okay. Going back to step 6, we want to select cell G5. So G5 is right here. And then we're going to start inputting formulas. So to start a formula, um, let's see here. So it is kind of detailed. Like sometimes I don't like how they break up the sub steps. So in fact, I'm actually just going to reference, jump to C so I can look at the. I know they're trying to explain what you're trying to do, but for me, it's like, well, just let me do it. So it's that formula you see down here. So you want to type in equal E5 plus parentheses E5 again. Oops, E5 multiplied by F5, right? Okay, and then I hit enter. So they're just saying it's basically commissions times the bonus rate, and that's how you get this commission with bonus. So so this project and the next one does require some statistical accounting and some math mindset. And I know, for the majority of you guys, you are moving into business or accounting. So hopefully, this is not too of a foreign concept to you. I'm sure, in your accounting business classes, you are doing a lot of these mathematical accounting calculations. So this is just how you do it on Excel software. Anyway, so going back to step D, format the result to show 0 decimal places. So to do that, you go back to the Home tab, go to Number, and then you want to decrease decimal until you don't see the cents. Now we want to copy the cell G5 to G14 once again. Since you just want to populate the whole empty rows beneath it, just go ahead and hover over the um, fill box and then double click it, and then it will populate that. Step 7 is asking us to create and copy a sum if function to calculate total earnings by branch office. So let's see here. So we want to go to E18 this time. So it's down here, commission and bonuses by branch table. So here's E18. Start the sum if function. So what you can do here is you can just type this in. You don't really need to go to the formulas tab and look for the sum if function. All right, so equal sum if. So Excel is trying to auto-complete the function you're trying to use. So you can just go ahead and click that. And then when you do, you notice it's dropping you hints on what you need in order to have the sum if function work properly. So you need to have range, criteria, and sum range. Okay? So what that means is we're on step B now. So the sum range argument is the $D $5 colon $D and then $14. So one way to do this is just to select column D5, cell D5 to D14. So it's the branch, right? So we're just selecting the different branches. And then to change them to those dollar signs means absolute, meaning when you copy the formula, that column doesn't change. So a quick way to do that is to, on a Windows keyboard, hit F4. And you notice when I do that, it inserted the dollar symbol for me. You can manually type it in, but it is a little bit tedious, so shortcut keys is always good to know. So I just hit F4 on the keyboard, and that inserted the dollar symbol for me. Okay, now I need to move on to the criteria, which is step C, and it's asking me to just reference, do a relative reference to C18. So I do C18. Okay, and so when it's relative, it means that when I copy that formula, the bottom cell will be referencing Folsom, and then the cell beneath that will be referencing Granite Bay. So I can show you that once I copy the cells. So let's see here. I'm on step D now. Determine the sum range argument, and then make the references absolute. So it's going to be commissions and bonuses, right? That's the sum range. So let's go and do a comma so we can move to the sum range portion of the SUMIF function, and then select G5 to G14 and then hit F4. And that makes it a absolute reference. Okay, now I can close the SUMIF function and hit enter. All right, so let me go ahead and checkbox these off here. Okay, so copy the formula in cell E18 to E19 and 20 without formatting. So that's an important one to preserve the border. So if I zoom in really quick, you notice right now there's dash lines in between the columns, and then there's solid lines on the edge. So what that means is you just have to be careful that you don't have solid lines horizontally. So let me show you what that looks like. So I'm not going to do the fill handle because, right, I'm only going to go, oops, let me go and zoom out, to E19 to E20. So what that means is I'm going to drag the fill handle this time and then let go at E20. And did you notice, if I zoom in, there's solid lines. I don't want that. So in order to take out the solid lines, I need to click on this pop-up selection box and then select fill without formatting. Okay, and you notice it went back to dash lines. Okay, now we want to format cells E18 to E21 as currency with 0 decimal places. So we have E21. We don't have anything yet, but we're just working ahead. So let's go ahead and select those cells, go to number, click the drop down and select currency, and then decrease the decimal. Whoops, sorry, I hit the wrong one. Yep, that's correct. Okay. Now we want to total the earnings in cell E24. So to do that, another word for total is sum, right? So we can go to formulas and then just click on auto sum, and then it auto selects the values above it, and those are what we want. And then we can just click it again for it to complete the sum function. Okay. So this one is see, I wish for step 9, I wish they break this down to sub steps. So let me go ahead and walk you through this one. So it's asking us to do 3 things. Average, mode, median. So right, they want us to put the average value here, the mode value here, and a median value. So they're all single values. So you can go to the formula tab, which I'm already in, and then you notice there's this more function book. Um, and hopefully you guys know that average, mode, and median is the statistical math category. If you don't, now you do. So average is pretty easy to find. You can select that. And even though it has like no multiple fields, you only need just number ones. So the bottom field is just optional, so we're not going to worry about it. So it kind of like I think it auto complete pretty well. E18 to E. See, you don't want well. See, you don't want to include um. Okay, so what it's doing is it's trying to average by doing it here. So you actually want to reference this one is the column here when it's commissions with bonuses here because these values here are just total by branch. So this one is a better range to use. So you can just click the range selector box, or I guess I can type it G 5 to G14. Okay, and then click OK. All right, so moving on to the mode. So in the mode, we want to go ahead and just go back to the same um, into the same book, so which is in the more functions statistical, and just scroll down to the mode, the M section, and then you notice there's two mode, modal mode, and then single. We just want single. We only need one mode, so we select that. And once again, um, don't worry about the number 2 field. We're just gonna work on the first field. So let's go ahead and select the values in the G column and then hit OK. And then we'll fix the number format after I find the median. So it's the same book again, statistical. Go back to the M section, select median, and then just select the same range in column G and then hit OK. It's interesting, yeah, median and average automatically uses the correct currency format, but I guess it's not that hard. I just need to manually set the mode to the currency with no decimal places showing. Okay, so that's step 9. Now correct border and number formats inconsistency as needed. So I corrected the inconsistency with the number format, but let me check the border. So I'm gonna zoom in really quick. Okay, that completes the introduction for project 2. Let me kind of give you some hints on how to do the next ones. So step 11 is asking you to use the if function. So, you go back to let me go ahead and zoom out. Go back to the formulas. If is like a logical statement, so you can kind of guess this in the logical section. So here it is, if, and then you have all these different values you can enter. So yeah, just work through step A to G for step 11. It's pretty straightforward. Step 12, if we want to look at step 12, you want to use the concat function. So sometimes you're like, well, I don't know what category concat would be. Would it be text? Yeah, see, it doesn't look like it's in text. So what you can do is click on insert function. And you can search for a function here. So I would just type in concat, right? And then hit the go. And then it gives you the 3 possible functions that does concat. And obviously I want to go with concat. So that's one way of finding the concat function. And then just go ahead and when you click OK, even though the step 12 has text 5, it will auto create text 3, text 4 as you enter values. You see that? Okay, so don't stress if you only see um, two, two rows. It will automatically create more. Okay. Um, I think the rest is pretty straightforward. Step 15 is one of those. I really do wish they break it down into subgroups. So let me go ahead and show you a little bit of that. So it asks you to group the sheets. So another word for grouping sheets is selecting sheets, right? So to select multiple sheets, you can hold the control key on your keyboard and then just click each sheet, okay? And you know you've selected or grouped the sheets when they're all highlighted yellow. Let me zoom in a little bit. Let me ungroup them again. Hold the control key so you can see it better that way. Okay, so they're all grouped. And then they want you to center the pages horizontally. So in order to do that, you have to go to the backstage, which is viewable through the File tab. So this is the backstage. And then you want to go to the Print view. And then you want to go to Page Setup. Okay? There you can go to Margins, and then that's where the horizontally option is available. Okay? So that's how you do step 15. So, so yeah, I think the rest should be pretty straightforward.